I thought, well, maybe it can be helpful in some therapeutic approaches to think about the worst case scenario. And so we talked about worst case scenario with what's happening in our country. And, I think when I think of worst case scenario, maybe I don't, I really don't think this will happen here, but who knows, is what happened to Viktor Frankl. He was a Swiss, I think, psychologist, and ended up in the, I think, Auschwitz, one of the concentration camps, Nazi Germany. And he was, and he did survive and wrote about it and was able to reflect on his experience in the concentration camp. And really, his book is called The Man's Search for Meaning. And he started to observe people that survived the concentration camp and those who didn't. And one of the distinctions was that those who survived had a kind of a vision for, or hope, or purpose beyond their present circumstances. They were looking to the future in a positive, hopeful way, in some way. And so when I think of survival skills in difficult times and stressful times, that's what my mind goes back to, is this is a worst case scenario. You can imagine how awful it was, and yet some people were able to survive while others didn't. And one of the keys was what I talk about a lot on this channel, and the series I'm in right now is moving from kind of languishing in loss to a good gay life. And so that's one key central aspect of it, is finding a sense of meaning and purpose in any circumstance you're in, whether you're going through, a more a less stressful time or a very stressful and just trying to survive. The common theme is finding a purpose you can hold on to and hope for. And so that's a lot of what my conversation was with about my friend. That's a lot of my conversation was with him about that, finding that purpose in the midst of what seems like dire circumstances sometimes, whether you think that's an overstatement or not, or you think it's just a phase we're going through as a country. It sometimes feels that way to me and a lot of my queer friends who are wrestling with, okay, where does this, if things continue, what is a logical, possibly, future for people like us who are queer? And so that's a common fear I'm hearing and feeling myself. So that's one thing, is trying to find a sense of purpose in the midst of this turmoil.